Alrighty guys, so today in this Kinetic MOGRT animation that we're going to be doing, we're going to talk about bullets. And I gotta tell you, I am tired of going and downloading bullets from different sites that give me a set amount of bullets. I want to be able to choose how many bullets I want, that give me a set animations, and you know what? It's not working for me. So this is the MOGRT we're going to create. Let me go to Browse, and let me go to Kinetic MOGRT, right? I'm going to put it here so that it starts at the beginning. And let me zoom out, and it ends here at the end. And there you go. So it has all of these lines of text, right? But this is it. This is my first line, right? I'm just going to copy that. This is my second line, right? This is my third line, and let's change this and a new text, right? So I have 5 lines of text, and then maybe that's all of the bullets that I want. Look at all the other bullets I have here. I don't want those. So look what happens when I delete the text. I don't want all of those. The bullet disappears as well. I'm just saying. So here we go. Now I have these bullets. The first one comes in, then the second, the third. Let's change this, and a new text, right? This is super good. I can make it shorter, right? And I still just have 5 lines of text. But wait, there's more. Maybe I want to separate the lines more. Look at this. Maybe I want to change the colors of the bullet. I'll have, I don't know, this horrible orange, right? Maybe I want to change the size of the bullet. There you go. Maybe I want to change the size of the text. Maybe I want to change the X position of the bullet. Maybe I want to change the X position of the text. Right? So I can put it whatever I want. And of course, you already saw it. The line spacing. And finally, the color of the text. They'll make it obnoxious yellow. And this is what we have now. Totally flexible. It's exactly what I need, because I can have 1 bullet, I can have 2 bullets, I can have 5 bullets, or I can have up to 15 different bullets, and all with the same MOGRT. So we're going to learn how to do this right now. Okay, so now we are in After Effects. Let's go ahead and create a folder. So I'm just going to call it Kinetic MOGRT 5-bullets. All right, so I'm going to copy that because I'm going to create a composition. A 1920 by 1080, 2997 is what I want. And then I'm going to, well, let me put the composition in there. And then I'm going to choose that as the MOGRT that we're going to export. And the name of the MOGRT is going to be Kinetic MOGRT 5-bullets. Alrighty, so I'm just going to zoom in here. And the first thing that I want to do is create the actual bullet. So I'm going to grab the pen tool, and I'm just going to click and drag like yay, and then click here, and then click here. And I'm just left with this almost like a guitar pick type thing. I'm just going to select it. And about the only thing is that notice where the anchor point is. I don't want it there. And yes, there is a preference that I could have changed, but I forgot to change it. So, let's just go and change it now. With the selection tool, press and hold the Control key, Command if you are on the Mac, and then double click the pan behind or anchor point tool. And there you go. It is centered. Perfection. I'm going to call this bullet. Perfection. All right. So I'm going to grab the selection tool again, and I'm going to move the bullet here. Actually, let me put it here on top. And now I'm just going to type some text, and this is my line of text. Right, so say with the selection tool, I'm going to put it here. Maybe I want it a tiny little bit larger for bullet points. You know what? This is not bad. I actually enjoy that. And the first thing that I want is that I really want to be able to change the size of the bullet individually, and then the font size. And since I can't change these individually, I need to be able to change the X position of the bullet. But I'm going to have more than one line of text, so I don't want to add the expression here because I want for one control to just change them all at the same time. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's create, well, the first thing is let's pre-compose these two. Right? So I'm going to pre-compose these two, and I'm just going to go layer, pre-compose, and I'm going to call it line of text 1. You know, typing would be a skill that might benefit me. All right, so here we go. Now I'm going to have layer, new, null object. I'm going to call this layer control. And I'm going to add a whole bunch of sliders here, right? So effect, expression controls. Let's have a slider control. I'm just going to call this size of bullet. All right. I'm going to duplicate that. Control or Command C. I'm going to call this one size of text. And let me duplicate this. I'm going to call this X position of bullet, right? I'm going to duplicate that again, and this is going to be the X position of text. All right, so the size of the bullet, the size of the text, the X position of the bullet, the X position of the text. I think I want to add more. So expression controls, I want to add a color control that I'm going to call color of bullet, right? And I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to call this color of text. All right. So far so good. So these are here. You know what? I'm going to turn this into blue, and I'm going to turn the color of the text into white. Nothing is connected yet. So none of these things are doing anything at all. All right. So one of the things that I need to do is I need to double click this so that it opens on its own. I'm going to close this previous one. And now I'm going to move this and put it like next here because I want to connect these through expressions. So I'm going to select this guy, and I'm going to go solo supported properties so that these things just come with. And now I'm going to go to the size of the bullet, so scale, and I'm going to add an expression here, and I'm just going to connect it to the size of the bullet. And let me just turn the slider to 100. So this is the original bullet. Now, P for position, I'm still on the bullet. I'm going to separate the dimensions, and this is going to be the X position of the bullet. So this is going to just be value, right? So plus, and now I'm going to go to the X position of the bullet. I'm going to go to the text scale, and I'm going to enable the expression. This is going to be value plus, and this is going to be the size of the text. The bullet is for scale. I already have it. X position. So the X position of the text. P for position. Separate the dimensions. And there you go. This is the X position of the text. Now this, I'm going to solo the supported properties here. So this is going to be the color of the bullet, right? And notice that I am again connecting them to a different layer. That's why when I duplicate these lines of text, because I mean, I'm going to have 15 of them, right? I want them all to be referring to the same controller. And then the color of the text, I need to add an animator for that. So fill color RGB and Alt click on the stopwatch and then connect it to this guy. All right. So the colors are good. Everything is good. Everything seems to be working fine. And I'm going to have to do this again. But just for now, I'm going to put them together like yay. And now I'm just going to go here and see if the size of the bullet works. And it does. The X position of the text. There you go. The X position of the bullet. There you go. The size of the text. Oh, see how it's only doing this? It's not really giving me the scale of the text. So, but that's okay. Let's go back here and let's see what we have here. So in the scale, I have value plus. No, I can't have value plus. Let me go ahead and delete that. I'm going to add this again. Let me put him here so that I can pick with. And I'm just going to have the size of the text like yay. All right. And this is good. This is exactly what I need. And there you go. And I can go bigger. I can go smaller. So this is actually pretty good. All right. Again, let me put these here just so that I can make sure that everything is working. All right, and now I'm going to add, so I'm going to start building the MOGRT right away. I'm going to save the project. I'm going to add a group. So this is going to be like the source text, which I'm not ready to populate at all. So I'm just going to collapse. I'm going to add another group. This is going to be the color group. I'm just going to put color. All right, and the color of the bullet. And the color of the text will be there. All right. And now I'm going to put text and bullet properties. All right. So I'm going to add another group. And this is text and bullet properties. So this is going to be the size of the bullet. This is going to be the size of the text, the X position of the bullet, the X position of the text. All right, and I think that's it for now, right? So size of the bullet, there you go. Fabulous. All right, so notice that I can click on edit range and all of these. So I'm going to do that. I think I want this to start at 50 and end at 150. So that's the size of the bullet. This is the smallest that it can get. This is the biggest that it can get. And I want to leave it somewhere around here. The size of the text, I mean, I never want it to be 0, right? So I'm going to go from, I don't know, 75. No, you know what? I'm going to edit the range. And I want to go from 40 to 140. All right, so the smallest that it can be is 40. And then the biggest is 140. So I think that's good. Yeah. All right, so the X position of the bullet. So 0 is the original, and then it can go over there. So it needs to go to more. So I'm going to edit the range so that it goes from minus 50 to, to 100. Minus 50 to 100. Yeah, I think that's good. And we're going to leave it by default like here. So the X position of the text, it can go from 0. I'm going to edit the range, not to 100. It has to go to at least 500. So if I want it here, and then I want to change the position of the bullet, then this has to be to more, right? So let's bring this to 400. Yeah, I think so. In case I want to move these things on the y-axis, as it is, I'm going to leave them here and here. All right? So that's good. About the only thing that I want to do now, other than add animation and all that good stuff, is that I'm going to have 15 bullets, right? Like if my bullet sorry, if the size of my text is like this small, and my bullet is this small, and you know what, I need to edit this. It has to go to from 20 to 150. Yeah, you know what? So X position of the bullet. I'm going to need to add the Y position of the bullet. So let me just do this. I'm going to need to add it to the Y position of the bullet as well. So P for position. So let me just do this. And this is the X position of the bullet. Let me duplicate that. And I'm going to call this Y position of the bullet. And I'm going to solo the supported properties here. And so this is the bullet. And no, this is the bullet. And this is the Y position. And here we go. Y position of the bullet. Right? And here we go. And now I can change this to yay. And I can even add it. So X position of the bullet, X position. So X position or Y position of the bullet. And this needs to go, yeah, between minus 60. Let me see. So from here, no, this can just stop at 0. I mean, right? It's not going to go any higher than 0. So between 0. Yeah, let me make this 500. Just in case, 500. There you go. So this is good. So I can change the size of the text, right? So it's like this. Then I could change the size of the bullet. Then I would change this. And I would change this. And this is the X of the text. Yeah, this is good. I think this is good. All right? Excellent. Okay, so now I need the following. If there is no text on that line, I want for the bullet to disappear. All right, so because I'm going to have 15 lines, but what if I only need 5? What if the bullets that I want to have is only 5 points, but I have 15 lines? And then the thing is like, yeah, you can just not put anything on the text, but every single template that I have ever downloaded leaves the bullet. I don't want the bullet. So if there's no text, no bullet. So we need to write an expression that will look to see if there is any content in the text. And quite frankly, I could write that, but I'm not going to. Let's ask ChatGPT to write this for us, Let's go to ChatGPT. All right, so here in ChatGPT, I'm just going to paste the prompt that I have written. And look, it just says, write an After Effects expression where it states that if the text is empty, then make the bullet invisible. All right, there you go. Go ahead, ChatGPT, write it for me. So it's writing it for me. There you go. Fabulous. Let's go ahead and copy that code by clicking here, and let's go back to After Effects. So we're going to add this expression to the opacity of the bullet, right? So Alt-click on the stopwatch and then paste what we copied. I'm going to click out of this, and it's going to give me an error because obviously, right? I mean, we need to modify it. Let me put this here so you can see it better. So text layer, this is a variable. This is a variable, right? So we're just going to actually name this, right? Let's make sure that this is the layer name, right? So this is the layer name. So we're just going to select this whole line, except for the semicolon, and then we're going to pick whip, right, to that layer name. And now the error disappears and everything should work perfectly well. Let's see if it's true. If I select all the lines of text and I press the backspace or the delete key, the bullet should be gone, and it is. And now this is my line of text and the bullet appears again. So this is good. This is working exactly how I want it. And because it's saying this comp, each and every line will point to its own line of text. So each bullet will be paired, if you will, with its own line of text. So even if I have 15 lines available, I could just use 3, 4, or 10. Doesn't really, or the full 15. Doesn't really matter. This just gives me the flexibility that otherwise I wouldn't have. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and save this. And I'm not going to populate the MOGRT anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to export a test. All right, a test. I don't have an animation yet. I don't have different lines of text. I have one line of text, but I'm just making sure that everything is going to work the way that I need it to work once I have it in Premiere Pro. So I'm just going to change, I'm going to duplicate this many times, right? And don't forget, I'm going to delete all these copies. Eventually, they need to be different compositions so that they can have different sources of text. So there is one last thing that I need to do. I need to be able to separate these lines of texts with a slider. So I need, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to delete all of these. I'm going to add this to position. I'm going to separate the dimensions. I'm going to add an expression to the Y position of this layer, all right? And it's going to read something like this. Value, like, okay, look at yourself. Look at where you are. Plus index. The index of the layer is the layer number. Like the top one is always layer 1. In this case, control is number 1. Line of text 2 is number 2, and then 3 will be number 3 and 4 and so forth. So now I'm going to have another slider, and I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to call it line spacing. All right. I'm going to put this value at 0 right now, and now I'm going to go times that slider. All right. So right now, value plus index, right, times 0, it leaves my line exactly where it is. Now I can duplicate it. Remember, we're going to delete all of these. This is just a test. All right, so boom, 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 boom. I'm going to have a full 15. One more for good luck. And now let's see if the line spacing works. And that's a thing of beauty. That's a thing of beauty. I'm not going to worry too much about the Y positioning because it's on an alpha, and we will be able to change these things in After Effects later on. So about the only thing that I do need to do, let me go ahead and delete this, is that I need to make sure that these guys are selected, and they are. And I'm going to make sure they are selected here. And there you go. And now I have 15 lines of text. I'm going to change this back to 0. So the line spacing, I'm going to change it back to 0. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to leave it at 0, but just for now. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and save this, and I'm going to export this. And there you go, to the local templates folder. The keyword is going to be my name. And let's go into Premiere Pro. All right, so here in Premiere Pro, here is my Kinetic MOGRT. I'm just going to put it here. And keep in mind, we have not had any protected areas, nothing like that. This is simply a test. So I'm going to select this. Let's make sure that the colors work. So green, there you go, that works. And I don't know, blue, all right, that works too. The size of the bullet, well, that works. The size of the text, that works. I could make it maybe a size of text. Okay, so it cuts it right there. I need to fix that. Let me change this back to white. So the X position of the bullet, the Y position of the bullet, okay, and the X position of the text. And I guess I'm going to add the line spacing to the MOGRT. Let's go ahead. Let's go back into After Effects. And I'm going to solo these. And line spacing. Let's add it here. And save. export, keyword Luisa, click OK. And this is why I like testing these things because, I had to add that. Let's go back. Let me delete this MOGRT. And let's add it again. And I already know that everything else works. All is just the line spacing. And do you see how it's cutting it right there? So I'm either going to have to make this much bigger, right? Or I'm going to have to do something about it, because even if I move this up, see, this is being cut off, right? I think I'm just going to make that much bigger. And I mean that composition. So composition settings. I'm going to make it 4K, Ultra HD, 2997, right? And there it is. I'm going to collapse all these guys. And I'm just going to move this in the Y position to be much higher. Right? And now I can duplicate a lot. And that's 15. Let's see the line spacing. Alrighty, so I'm going to have to change this position to even higher than that. Alright, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to change it to like yay. And now, let me duplicate again. I just need like 16 of them. And this is pretty good. So now I have the X position of the bullet. So I need to, so now that I changed the numbers, this needs to be like minus 200, right? Let me see. Oh no, it needs to be a heck of a lot more than that. So minus 800, right? Let's do that. Why? I need to edit the range. Minus 800, right? So minus 800. Yeah, you know what? Let's do minus 900. Oh, I keep on forgetting to just click here. Minus 900. To plus 600, right? So to here. Right? So that's good. And for the X position of the text, we're going to do the same thing. So minus 900 to plus 500, right? So we can have it here or all the way here. Now that's going to have to go to 1,000. All right, so to here. And then the X position of the bullet, we're going to change that to 1,000 as well. And we're going to change this to 1,500. Come on. 1,500. Yeah. So if I want to have the bullets here, I can. You know what? Let's do it even a little bit more for complete flexibility. So to 1,800, I think that's good, which means that the X position of the bullet will also go to 1,800. I mean, why not, right? There you go. And I'm digging that. You know, I'm actually digging that quite a bit. The size of the bullet, there you go. The X position, the line spacing, like if I only want these many bullets, right? I may want to space them more. The size of the text, the size of the bullet, the Y position of the bullet, the X position of the bullet, Yeah, you know what? I am digging that. Let's go ahead and change some things. So I'm going to change the X position of the bullet to like here. I'm going to change the X position of the text to about here. And I'm also going to change the size, the line spacing to a 0. Now, you know what? Let's change it to like, yeah. All right. Okay, so let's save this and export it again. The only keyword will be my name, and understand, again, I don't have an animation yet or anything like that. This is simply so that we see if it's going to work the way that we intend for it to work. So we are in Premiere Pro, we're gonna browse, and this is our MOGRT. And we already see that the colors work. Let's go with the line spacing. Right, and this is good. The X position of the bullet. The Y position of the bullet. The X position of the text. And the size of the text. I think this is good. This is what I wanted. So now we're going to delete all those repeated compositions, and we're going to add some animation here. All right, so let's just double click, and here we go. I'm actually going to change this composition settings to be Ultra HD, so 4K 2997, and that way, you know, this will be as it needs to be. So this is the X position of the text. Oh, this is the X position of the bullet. X position of the text. I don't know why it's not changing live. And let's just bring it here. There you go. All right, so we're just going to animate this. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to change both of these. I'm going to change this to here, and I'm going to change this in the Y position to, so P for position. And I'm going to change the range to 500 to 5,000. I wish it were updating live, you know? So let me just go down a little bit. Let's see if that fixed anything. So 10, you know what, let's just type 1,000, 1,100. So 1050, 1060, there you go. I think that's good. All right, so now we can do some animation. And I am going to create masks for this animation. So I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to add an animator. I don't know, maybe for position, and I'm just going to bring it up like, yay, right? And I'm now going to do a range selector, say it's it's going to last 1 second, right? So we have this. There you go. And now I'm going to add a mask to this. And because I don't know where things are going to go, I'm going to put it like yay. So there you go. And I'm going to add motion blur, and I'm going to add mask feathering, maybe just 10 pixels, but just a little bit, you know? That's good. And let's go ahead and add a transform, and maybe we'll just do opacity, you know? So we'll start here at 0, and then just go to 100. we'll press the letter U and F9 it. And so the bullet can appear as the text comes. So I'm actually going to delay the bullet a tiny little bit. There you go. So, it can be any animation that you want it to be. So, all right, so I'm going to select both of these guys, and I'm just going to move them up here. So P for position, and so this is the Y position of the bullet. Yeah, I think that's good. There you go. There you go. Fabulous. And now the X position of the bullet. Edit range. Minus 1100. I don't understand. Come on. Okay, and that's good. So minus 1100 to 1800. Okay, so that's good. Now we're just going to move it a little bit to the right. And this is good. And now the size of the bullet is going to be a tiny little bit smaller. And I think I'm digging that. So now we can go here. Let's see if everything works still properly. And that's the line spacing. And everything is working well. So, but the only thing is that this is starting a little too high. So let me go ahead and delete that. And let's go to P for position. And let's actually have it right here. All right. And I get it. If we have a lot of line spacing, then this is not going to quite work. So let me actually edit the range so that it goes from 150, all right, to 500. I think this is good. So we can go from 150 to 500. Let's make sure that this is good, you know. And if they want less bullets than that, then remember that getting rid of the text gets rid of the bullet as well. All right. So I think we are ready because we have the animation, right? So the animation is working. And now all we need to do is duplicate this line of text, right? So Control-Command-D. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 is what I want. So I'm just going to drag these down here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, blah, 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 blah. So here we go. And text and bullet properties. So we have a line spacing already that is not working because only one of these lines has the expression. And the expression is in the Y position. All right, so I just copied it. And now I'll select all of these guys, press P for position. I'll select all of the positions, right? Right-click and separate dimensions because I need to put this only on the Y. So Alt, click, 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 Option on the Mac, right? And I'm just going to enable the expressions on all of these guys. And then paste, 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 and paste, paste, paste. And I'm almost done. And there you have it. There you go. All right. So now I am going to go here and all right. All right, so I'm going to edit the range again, and I'm going to start at 0. right? And they're not in the same place. So let me make sure that all of these guys are. Let me reset them. So let me go to position. Oh, okay. So this guy, yeah, it has it. So why all of them have to have, okay, so this one could be, all of them should be 698. So 698. I guess I copied them. Oh, this one doesn't have it. Why? $6.98. And I'm almost done. So there's like a bug there, right? All right, so I'm gonna select all of these. Oops, I soloed them. Didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna select all of these like yay. And now I'm just gonna lower them to about yay. You know what I mean? Because that's where they all should start. And then, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. All right? So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So if that is that, let's say this is like the minimum that we could have, right? So I could now do this and bring him up to like that. And I can leave that line spacing like that for the MOGRT. All right, so I have text and bullet properties, I have colors, and the only thing that I don't have is the source text. So let's go ahead and collapse all of these guys, and now let's open all of these. All right, so just select them all and double click them, and they all should open like yay. All right, so I'm just gonna go to line of 1 text, solo supportive properties, and all of these like yay, so that all I have to do is drag that from each one of these guys. All right, so that's 13. All right, so that's enough. Let me just go to text 1. And we're going to go to source text. So source text, text 1, source, right? I'm just going to copy that, right? So now this is 2, text 2, source, right? And now text 3, source. It really should be line, right? Oh, let me do that. Line 3, and it should be text, not source, right? Let me rename that. So this is 1. This is 2. That's 3. And we have 15 lines. So let me pause this for a minute, and then I'll come back. Alrighty, so they're all on the MOGRT now. Let's see if they actually work. So let me type line 1 and click out of there. Yeah, line 1 and line 3. Right, and let me just go to the bottom ones and delete, and it's deleting the lines. So this is working very, very well. So text and bullet properties, line spacing, so we could space them even more. You know what? This is working perfectly well. About the only last thing that I need to do is I need to stagger these a little bit. So let me just undo this a tiny little bit so that, you know, this is my line of text remains here. And I want for the lines of text to come in one at a time, right? Like yay. And then I'm going to have protected areas, all right? And I think this is good, right? So I'm going to lock the control layer. Not that it matters, but I'm going to lock it. I'm going to select all of these guys and I'm going to shorten them to that. So Alt or Option, right square bracket. Now I'm going to select the top one first, press and hold Shift and select the bottom one. And now I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to Keyframe Assistant and then Sequence Layers. No overlap, just that. All right, so that we have a nice sequence of the layers here. And now with all of them still selected, I can now make these longer again. And this is what we have. And I'm going to have a protected area here. I'm going to have another protected area here. I'm going to have another protected area. Let me zoom in so that there is at least one frame, right? So B to here and protected area. So each and every bullet, I want it to be a protected area. Making sense? So B, you know what? That's actually pretty good. It's just doing it for me. And B, and B. I'm just pressing the letter B, right? And each and every bullet is a protected area. And here's the last one. And there you go. All right, so I think this is pretty good. And they don't need to animate out. I figure in Premiere Pro, I can just fade them out or do a transition or whatever. So I'm just going to save this. I'll export the motion graphic template. And now the only keyword will be my name. It's going to ask me again if I want to replace it. And the answer is yes. And there it is. Now onto Premiere. I'll delete this. Let's go to the browse and let's add the Kinetic. We can make it much longer now. And in fact, let me start it right away. Let me zoom in. This is very good. So this is line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. I think that's all I need to do. And in fact, for the rest, I can simply delete. Remember, if I delete the text, the bullet should go with it. Maybe I just want 4 lines of texts, right? So let's just do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I do 5? Yeah, I did do 5. Okay, I did do 5. We want more of a line spacing. This is good. We want a bigger size bullet, and maybe we want for the bullet to be, I don't know, bright yellow, whatever, right? And the text color, we want it to be, I don't know, red. Red. Oh my God. I can't do that. Let's just have it blue like that. Whatever, right? And we're going to have the size of the text be bigger and the size of the bullet be a little bit smaller. The X position of the bullet, there you go. And the Y position of the bullet a little bit higher. I'm enjoying that. The X position of the text, and you know what? I'm going to go back to white because what the hey. And then there you go. this is working perfectly well. This is exactly what I wanted. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And hey, if you did, hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you for everything. And I hope to see you again next time.